fascinated by this. So you make these products at your factory for several, I would imagine, businesses in China and also all around the world. Right?
Yes.
That must be a very competitive market, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Especially these days, right?
Yes, it's big, it's huge market.
I can imagine. There's such a competition on these days between countries all around the world as to who will make the best AI in all ways, in all forms, right?
Mm-hmm.
So wherever the companies are from whichever countries, regardless, my next question is very simple. Who do you think will make the best AI? In the whole world, which country do you think will make the best AI? What are your thoughts?
As you know, there's a lot of company in this world. They invest many machines to produce the product.
Of course.
And they also have many thousands of engineers who develop thermal solutions.
Mm-hmm.
So
engineers who work round the clock and never sleep.
Yes, especially in China.
Especially in China. I'm saying you and she will
Thank you.
you work so hard. Yes, I know. Very good. Anyway, okay, so and as they work around the clock, they produce these machines, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Tell me more.
So currently, we separate. Most of companies are located in Taiwan, and so Taiwan is very good at for the development for the thermal solutions.
Mm.
So most of the famous companies, such as many, we call it Master and others like Delta and Bond, IT, Clemens,
Several
companies working hard for that.
Mm.
So I think all of them are very good.
What would you say are the benefits of AI in a modern world?
I told you a story. My friend who has lychee farmers.
Oh, yes.
Yes. So I said that I don't know. We don't know who is the final winners in this competition.
Mm.
But I want to see that this guy, the farmers, could win because he could rely on the DeepSeek. Yes, DeepSeek.
Uh-huh.
Okay, he asked some advice from DeepSeek. DeepSeek not just provide, just like the Baidu, the search engines. They could provide a total market research report to you. Which province in China needs the lychee? It's the most. So if you
I did not know that.
I will tell you, if you search
so
in DeepSeek, you ask which province in China, in the North China is the biggest market. It will tell you that the inner Mongolia
is a big market for lychees.
Yes, 1,500 tons.
1,500 tons of lychees.
Yes.
And DeepSeek's AI gave this market research results to this farmer.
Yes.
Where was this farmer?
Located in Guangdong province.
A local farmer here in Guangdong.
Yes.
Huh.
So.
Okay. Wow.
He knows that his market is in Mongolia. Yes.
Obviously, I'm sure DeepSeek didn't just give him Inner Mongolia. Did he give him any other provinces or any of the other provinces as well?
Oh, of course. Number one is Inner Mongolia.
Sure.
The number two is Hebei province.
Hebei province.
Yes. And especially in the Heilongjiang province, it's just one.
Heilongjiang?
Of course, in Harbin, the capital of the Heilongjiang province.
Sure.
So one day, maybe 5 or 50 tons one day. So that's
a tons in one day.
Yes.
You can't be serious.
Yes.
That is amazing.
As a salesman, it's very important for him or for them to know where the product sells.
Of course, because then you can actually target that place.
Yes. Target is very important.
You can target them and then sell them more, and you will make a lot of money.
Yes, of course.
Okay, now, but lychee season is now. I hope next year there won't be too many other farmers using AI.
Yeah.
Maybe DeepSeek next year will tell them, okay, now there's more competition, so you got to sell faster than the other.
Okay.
Now it's not a matter of where to sell it. Now, next year it will become a matter of how to sell it there faster than your competition next year. But you see, this is not what you're saying, is that even a farmer can find a very good use for AI technology, such as DeepSeek.
Yes.
Be that as it may, AI has, of course, already found its way unfortunately, into schools and the world of education. Much to the dismay of many professors. I woke up, I think it was yesterday or this morning, and I was viewing one of my favorite professors, Professor Neil Ferguson. He's not Sir Neil Ferguson. Anyway, famous historian. Where does that leave academia? So Professor Neil Ferguson was interviewed mentioned that, mentioned a few steps that we should take, or that academia should take. Go back, he says, to eliminating all kind of technology and creating a technology-free space. Complete, right? No computers, no laptops, no nothing. And absolutely only have books and an interactive discussion with a lecturer. And I was sitting there watching this, and I could see he was grinning, and I'm also grinning because it's hilarious that as educators we actually have to do this. Because yes, Generation Alpha and Generation Z are very much their lives are inextricably entwined with technology. So much so that it's very difficult for them to face anything without the help of any kind of technology. And then as a result, what you get is an inability to even have the guts to say what you think, whatever it is you think, without the help of technology in terms of preparing you or anything of the sort. But can you take your ideas and have a conversation with someone, whether you agree or disagree, and still provide facts as in an essay? After all, why do we write essays? The idea of an essay is to prove that you can make an argument. Yes? The idea of an essay is to show your thought.
Yes.
And your idea. It's not about testing your writing skills or only your grammar. If any teacher tells you that, that teacher is a very limited teacher. But a real teacher will tell you that writing an essay is training your brain to make an argument.
Yes.
That you can one day do without typing or texting or anything, and just use your brain and your thoughts. And yet now, we have a world where people are too afraid to say anything. I'm sure you can blame the cancel culture and all that other nonsense from that too, I guess, if you want to. But regardless, there's just an innate shyness. To a large degree, you can also blame COVID for that. But, the kind of fuel to this need to integrate and stay connected to people via technology. And then the young generation came out of that. I remember we had to spend so much time to get these kids to acclimate, get used to being in touch with everyday humans face to face again. That was in China, that was 3 years. Some other countries, 2 years or a year or a few months. But the damage is done. Doesn't matter where it happened or where you survived the pandemic as a child. Coming back out of it, you had to really get used to, oh my goodness, real humans, 3D again. And it was subliminal and sometimes profoundly conscious too. So anyway, but moving on swiftly, the key point is what Professor Ferguson really gets to, and I agree with that. With that smart, get back to having interaction with a teacher or lecturer without technology around. Because you've got to get yourself to think, to be in the moment and use your own mind. Nothing is more important than that. And so for the sake of academia, I would argue, yes, as great as AI is in terms of helping and supporting a business that is reliant on a lot of writing, including local firms that need to write about the contracts and things, or whatever the case may be, fine, I get that. But even still, if you then rely on some other intelligent entity outside of yourself to actually write that stuff, are you actually spending time reading it? No, because you're running to your next meeting, hoping that the words in this text is fine. You go to Capitol Hill in the US, the seat of the US government, and they write all these many, many bills that they expect all the leaders of government to read. You really think these people read these documents from front to back? No, they don't. Now you want to bring AI in as well? To write things that people still read? I'm sorry, it's ridiculous. You know what I mean? Anyway, so, long story short, it becomes fundamental in terms of levels of importance to get students in academics back to a position where they are without any technology. For one simple reason, to think. After all, AI thinks for you. You let somebody else think for you, then what happens is you, in a way, forget to train your own brain to think. You rely on someone else to, or some other thing to think for you. Then what about your own ability? It's like the story of two brothers, right? The older brother and the younger brother. The older brother protects the younger brother all the time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's very nice for the younger brother. You know, the older brother takes all the punches, right? From all the other kids that want to beat him up or whatever. So, good older brother, right?
Yes.
But one day, older brother leaves town. He needs to go study at some university. Younger brother is now alone. Now, younger brother must take care of himself.
Yes.
Older brother's not there anymore. And the same bullies come back, or the same people that gave him trouble before. Now, he's not ready for a fight. He's never fought before. Just like many of these students that provide AI-generated essays have never thought before. Therein lies the problem. So I do not like AI in education because you effectively teach students, whether they are primary school, middle school, or high school, to not need to think anymore. That in and of itself is counter-education, and therefore, according to me, utterly unacceptable. So I do not see the need for AI in education at all. There are people who disagree with it, of course. They may have their reasons, and I'm sure many reasons for AI in education is all profit-driven. Everybody wants to make money. Yeah, so you know what? You can't put monetary value on true education of a human being's soul. That is what I believe we are losing in the world of academia. Okay, that's it for me. Now, back to our story. In terms of AI and in terms of the future, where do you see China in the next 5 years integrating AI into every aspect of everyday life?
I want to show two evidence. First is drones. You know that many the delivery companies such as Jingdong and Shunfeng. Okay, they also use the drones. The drone to
They also use drones, right?
yes, the drone to deliver the package to the customers.
Yes.
Especially for the last 3 miles, the package. The last 3 mile package use too many human resource to deliver the package. So if we instead of the drones, so we can save the money and we will improve the efficiency for the delivery times.
Okay.
And another example is FSD, the full self-driving, is more popular in China. It's of course in US it's totally active use, especially for Tesla in US.
Yeah.
Yes, Tesla already take these technologies in and lets this technology affect in the US. So there is nobody drives a car, and you just sit here and just see the cars drive from the company to your home.
If I can chip in here, I know this is very powerful technology, but also in Shenzhen.
Yes, yes, no
I
problem.
think, when was this? I was at Germany 2 months ago when a friend of mine called me up and said, "Hey, if it's raining, just take this cab here." I'm like, so she shares this app with me. I look at the app, I'm like, I don't know this brand. I mean, I know in China we have Didi and Zhao, you know, and One Time and so many others, you know, famous brands. And I'm like, I don't know this one. I opened the app and I'm like, oh, it's a driverless car app. I'm like, what? I was completely, you know, surprised. I'm like, I didn't know we had that at all already. At that time, I wasn't aware. Now I'm, of course. And I've been seeing people going around, even our city, with driverless cars. And I was like, it is so weird.
Okay.
But I mean, it's something to get used to. And yes, it's part of the future, isn't it? Yes. Anyway, so it's a great idea. And like you say, other countries have started to use it as well. Whether it's Tesla stuff or whatever other brand, I don't know. China's brand that
We call it no.
BYD, no?
No. There's brand which use a capital robot run. The robot run is no driver taxi.
Yeah, so that's the one I was talking about.
Yes.
Robot tech. Okay, so if indeed we now have driverless taxis, and like you say, even with delivery systems, like with Jingdong in China and also in the States with Amazon, we begin to use AI in our drones. But now, isn't the next logical step to try to get a driverless train?
Currently, we think that if the bad weather and some other accident, there's need somebody to take care of the accident. But maybe in 10 years or 5 years or 10 years later, there's no need. Maybe there's an AI police officer to deal with the traffic.
Well, then, I mean, just from a train, we can also take it even further. We can say, how about driverless airplanes?
Yes.
Now, okay, I would love to see how my mom and dad will actually embark on a plane that is driven by nothing but computer chips. I don't even think that would. I don't even know how I would feel about it if someone would like, "Hey, Gilliam, here's an airplane. There's no pilot. It's all done by AI." And I'm like, right. Ghost in the machine, hashtag Matrix, weird memories. No, can I have the option of a human piloting me? I guess it's going to take a while, because for me, really, that will be the next logical step.
Yes.
In the next 5 years or 10 years, I can see how either China or Europe or America or whichever country that's far ahead, perhaps even India, will absolutely create that as a possible technology. But how about the household? How will AI eventually be more integrated into a house? Now, we've already seen smart homes and things like that in TV shows, but perhaps it can go even further. What do you think?
We know that there's still there's still no the robot to do the homework, such as clean the room and washing the pants. But
So we need a robot IE.
Yes.
A robotic cleaning lady. Okay, got it.
We need it.
Okay.
I think it's maybe in 2 or 3 years we can do that.
Yeah, man. I won't be surprised. But okay, so that may be one more thing that comes up. The idea of a smartphone was really something that came from a Star Trek episode in the 1980s or late 1970s, Standard Direction, where Dr. Spock was using one. And everyone's like, "Whoa, that was so cool, we can do it." And now today it's seen as a indisposable part of everyday life. You can't live without it. And yet, 40, 50 years ago, we definitely lived very normal lives without one. But you ask Generation Z or Generation Alpha, even Generation X, can you live without a smartphone? You're like, no, we need it. What do you know about the theory of transhumanism?
Wow, it's a big question.
No?
I have to say.
Well, we live in a world where AI is now a big deal. Don't you also see advertising about it every day?
Yes, every ad.
Right, exactly. Whether we are a shopping app, whether we are just on our WeChats or whatever, there's AI advertising literally everywhere we go. I mean, it's like every company in the world now wants to offer an AI solution because it's such a hot button topic. But just like back in the day when certain songs became overplayed, AI is going to become the same. Like, now it's a hot button topic, but is it really going to last? I honestly don't know. Sure, AI is on pop song, but seriously, I hear these words on repeat every day. It drives me up the wall. So I've decided I'm going to do some research into it to really get behind it. And the topic of transhumanism came up again. Now, the first time I heard about it, I was actually still living and working in China. And when I came across the term, I was fascinated immediately. Okay, how much do you know about the topic of evolution? Evolution is then the process of humanity growing into something more than what it used to be. So if we go with Charles Darwin's idea that creatures evolve to fit their environment, right? And if we go with the idea that humanity started as either a fish or an egg, depending on what parts of evolution you believe from it, or whatever. Luckily, this is still a theory. None of it has ever been proven. The idea is that over thousands of years, people have evolved to where we are today. Thinking, very highly cognitive species. And if we then think like that, we see ourselves as a result of biological processes that brought us here.
Yes.
And thereby it negates all religions as human fantasies instead, right? It sees religion then as that, or even philosophy as human creation. It does not see it as an inevitable part of human life. So how do you go to all the world and say to them, oh, okay, your ideas of gods or goddesses are completely wrong. It's a fallacy. You are just some biological thing that keeps growing. At least that's the idea behind it, right? No, okay.